The easiest way to start winning more games CFB 26 is by simply scoring more points than your opponent. Luckily for you, in this video I'm breaking down the complete guide to my Oregon State offense ebook, including the best money plays and red zone dots that's going to make scoring touchdowns and winning more games effortless. You're not going to miss anything I have for you in this video, so let's jump right into it. The first thing any great offense needs is a one-play touchdown to scare the defense and force them to back up, opening up the entire game. Let me show you the best one to use right now. All right, so that play is going to be motion bench double post here from Gun Bunch Strong Nasty. All right, the setup is going to be, obviously you would like to use base protection unless you're playing against single mug, then you'd probably want to use empty, but you're going to put your slot receiver Red X on a shriek, you're going to put your tight end on a drag, and you're going to block your running back. All right, and so this is going to be super dangerous when they decide to run cover 3 and cover 2 defenses, obviously the two most common zone coverages in the game. But essentially what we're going to do is take this snap, and you're just going to notice how if you have time to throw, that post route becomes wide open down the field, right? And so that's also why you have your drag. Like in a game on that particular play, I would have just hit my drag, because you just understand at some point when you get shedded, like you have to get rid of the ball. But we're going to see it again right here. Hopefully we can get some time to throw. Beautiful pocket to step up into. And so then we're just going to pass lead this ball all the way to the left in that case. If you have it on the other hash mark, it would be pass leading it to the right. But you're just trying to get that ball away from that safety, giving your receiver plenty of room to just run underneath this pass, right? So again, boom, backside post, the shriek route runs off the inside third, and then here's the key, right? This short corner route to number 7 right here is gonna pull this outside third down and outside and just open up a huge opening for this, post run over the top, again, for an easy score. Make sure you're stepping up in the pocket to make it an easier throw, and make sure that you can get that ball away from the safety and just walk in untouched, right? So we're gonna see it again right here, cover 2 defense. Now, this is the mistake a lot of people make when they run cover 2, and what you're going to be taking advantage of here. So most people are going to be told to user this mid-read defender. They always want to user the middle linebacker, and so they're just going to take this guy off the field, right? Or they're going to lurk around, do whatever, so they might commit down to your drag unless they can still get all the way back to defend your post. Against most cover 2 defenses, it doesn't matter that the mid-read defender exists. But you're just going to see it again right here. This time the offensive line creates a better pocket. I step up a little bit more, and so we're able to hit that pass. Now, a lot of the time against cover 2, it's not just going to be like a rack touchdown like I showed you against cover 3, because this safety, you see how he gets moved outside, but he's not necessarily coming down. And so, like, right here, I pass lead it, but I have to possession catch it right in front of him. And that's also something that's important, understanding which catch modifier to use. But you see how important pocket presence is, again, because this man comes in free, like he sheds. So he's coming in free, but because I step up in the pocket, now he runs into someone else, allowing for me to just hit this post route over the top. So you're able to see it against cover 2, cover 3, and then even against man coverage, it's still really great because of the corner out and the drag combination. Now, if you know they're running man coverage, I probably wouldn't put Red X on a shriek. I would probably just leave him on his little kind of crossing route here. But we take the snap, and what you're going to notice is that corner out to that X receiver, he's going to do a great job of creating separation. It's kind of just like, it's not like a regular corner route. It's actually just a unique route that EA put in the game that you can't really unlock any other way. So you're going to be taking advantage of his route, and then obviously, like we talked, you see how wide open he got right there, but also it's like you can hit your drag underneath. So bottom line with this play, it's a great one-play touchdown against cover 3, but it's also able to beat cover 2 with the same post, and then against man coverage, cover 4, hit your corner out, hit your drag underneath. But really an exceptional play to start it off. Alright, having a great one-play touchdown is fantastic, but if you're not using the best offensive settings right now, your blocking is going to be terrible, or your passes are going to be inaccurate. Let me show you the best settings to use right now. Alright, so these really are paramount to the rest of the scheme and how it kind of functions here. Alright, what we're going to see is we're going to come into our coaching adjustments. We're going to turn auto base protection. A lot of you guys seem to leave this off, probably because you don't fully know what it does or what it means, but we're going to turn this on base or empty. Alright, so I'm going to show you base protection here when you kind of want to be using that, right? And so you see how against this defense, this is a regular front. They're not custom stunting, they're not blitzing, they're not doing any of that. that's when you want to use base protection. The reason why you want to use base protection is because it's essentially the default protection in this game. There's not going to be any blue lines under your offensive line because we don't need them on this play. Our blocking is just going to be standard and it's going to be fine. No one's going to come in. Free sheds obviously exist, right? So that's why it's important to get rid of the ball. But if they're not blitzing you, they're not doing any of that stuff. No slot corner, no A gap, none of that. They're just no stunts. They're just calling regular pass rush, trying to get sheds. Just use base protection, because essentially what can happen is if you turn auto base protection off, EA will randomly full slide or half slide your offensive line in one direction, and now you're very susceptible to getting overload blitzed. So again, like EA might full slide your line to the right. They're sending more guys off of that side. So now you see someone comes in free. So I'm just saying that's a possibility that could happen. EA could do that to your line, and then you're not paying attention, and so then you just end up getting sacked. And that's probably what's costing you so many gains and so many yards, is because you'll just randomly let guys walk in completely free, untouched. But by turning base protection on, you're going to be able to solve that issue. But here's the key that so many people miss. If we come into a different play right here, we come into single mug. This is a great example. On defense, we know what's so popular is the Texas 4-man custom stunt. Base protection is going to get obliterated by the Texas 4-man custom stunt, but empty protection is going to do a lot better job. So we're going to come back into any offensive play right here. We're going to have them in, we're going to first put ourselves in base protection just so I can show you how dominant this stunt is going to be against this protection. But you're just going to see how, boom, take it, and now, like, I mean, a guy just completely walks in free. That's going to happen time and time again. Sometimes it'll be the guy on the left, sometimes it'll be the guy on the right. And so base protection is the most common pass protection type, but when you start to use empty protection, it's going to be just a little bit better for you. Again, not to say that this could never work, but you see how that time, like, he actually gets picked up, and I now have the ability to actually make Reed step up in the pocket. So again, like this stunt, the reason why people use it on defense is because it can even work against empty protection. But you just see on those first two plays right there using empty protection, you just see how much of a better job we're able to do against that stunt. I wouldn't use empty protection against regular rushes. I would only use it really against heavy blitzes, A gap, slot corner, custom stunts, right? And so you're also just able to see you could use empty protection and then even block your running back as well, and just really, you know, give yourself that extra security blanket, just to make sure that, you know, a stunt, for example, isn't able to walk in the backfield. So we do a great, oh, well, I guess that was kind of banana. That really wasn't what's happened. Let's try again. But we take the snap again right here. You're able to see we're able to do a much better job of actually blocking that stunt, getting rid of the ball on time, hitting guys after the catch. And so bottom line, I think that you could use empty protection against every custom stunt in this game, or most custom stunts, and be fine. But even if you want to block your running back too, that's gonna, you know, help you out. So those are really the best coaching adjustments that you want to be using on offense. It's really only one setting out of 5 that you need to touch, but you really need to have a good understanding of auto base protection, off base, and empty. What are the consequences, and when you should really be using all 3 of them. Alright, staying balanced on offense is super critical to executing time and time again. Let me show you the best run play to call, and you can speed boost out of it. Alright, so we're going to come into a bunch A strong offset, right? And we're going to scroll down until we find the play duo. This is no lie, I mean, certainly one of the best run plays in this game, simply because you can speed boost, right? At that time I speed boosted 3 times, right? But I mean, the gap was wide open. But essentially with the speed boost, you're going to be able to get to your spot way sooner, right? So you're going to be able to just get to that gap on that left side faster, which is going to tremendously, I mean, it's going to help you out significantly toward picking up more yards on offense, right? And so really the most important thing with this, you're trying to read the play. Like right there, I would never be able to get away from that guy who shot in free, but I'm able to just speed boost, dumb out his pursuit angle, and get out to the left side a lot sooner. So right here, I'm just going to speed boost out, you know, to the right in that case. So you're really just trying to read the play. So the reason why it's called duo is because a lot of the time your line is going to double team the center, or the line's going to double team the defensive tackle. And so when you're able to do that, it makes it a whole lot easier to pick your gap and get to the second level of the defense. And as we know, when you get to the second level of the defense, that's really when you can start to rip off these huge runs, right? And so simply, this is one of the most effective runs to do that because you have that built-in double team on one of those defensive linemen. So you're able to just see it time and time again. Now, you can speed boost out of this, and then you can chain that up with a spin. Like this guy, Hankerson right here, he has 360, so I speed boost, and then I'm going to spin. And then I'm going to speed boost again, and I'm going to spin. So I'm going to chain the moves up together. But what you're going to ask is, BLT, I don't know how to speed boost. And the answer to that is you're going to take the snap or take the handoff, and then you're going to be holding right trigger turbo to run as fast as possible. You're going to already be holding left stick in the direction that you want to run, obviously, and then you're going to tap the left trigger or L2. So it's really right trigger, left stick, L2 or the left stick. It's combining those three together. So again, right here, booms, and some boosts are going to be better than others, and sometimes you don't even need to speed boost, right? Sometimes, like if you're running, so you can really, it's hard to speed boost when you're running straight ahead. If you really have to kind of be running at an angle. And so, but if the gap's open straight ahead, like right here on this play, the gap's wide open right through the middle. So I don't need to necessarily speed boost to get there. Really, you want to speed boost when you're trying to get to a certain gap. Like you see how right there, that linebacker kind of came in free right there. So I couldn't get out to the right. I needed to get out to the left a little bit sooner. Right here, they walked their safety down. And so I needed to get out to the right there because the safety came down. So sometimes it's like they just play good run defense. You don't have anywhere to run, but it's like right there, speed boost again, and we're able to turn that into a big game. So if you guys have seen some of the gameplays that I've uploaded on this channel running this Oregon State offensive scheme, it's like this is one of my most called plays because it just makes it very easy to, like you could run this 3 times, pick up 4 yards of carry, and consistently move the chains. Simply because this is already a great run with the blocking scheme that you have, and then you're able to combine that with a great running back who can speed boost, who's elusive. We're just going to walk up to this guy, spin him out, and turn that into a big game. So really, I would recommend that you call this at least 10 times a game. Like, you don't need to be passing the ball every play in this game. It's very easy to run the ball. It's very easy to speed boost. And so this is certainly a play that you need to be mixing into this Oregon State offensive ebook. All right, so if you're enjoying those first few plays here from the Oregon State offensive ebook, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down tips and tricks just like this every single day on CFB 26, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full Oregon State offensive ebook with the best money plays, red zone dots in written form so you can save them on your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You could use code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee it'll transform the way you play offense, and it's only getting better as I continue to update it throughout the year. Let's jump right back into it. All right, the next thing any great offense needs is a play that you can go to when the game's on line. You don't want to have to overcomplicate plays in the heat of the battle, so let me show you a great play that beats every defense. All right, so that play is going to be read wide corner here from gun trips, tight end offset weak. All right, and so if you guys have ran trips in the past, this is very similar to curl flat here. And so really what we're trying to do is, I would always recommend though that you have your trips on the wide side here. So either you could flip your play or just only call it when you're on this hash, but you always want to have your trips on the wide side. So we're going to put our tight end on a streak right here, and then we're going to put our running back on an in route. If you want to, you can put your backside receiver on like an in route or a drag, so something like this. I would normally though just leave him on his curl, right? Because right here you're going to see they're going to run man coverage, and when they run man coverage, you are going to spam core routes down their throat, at least if they're running off man coverage, which a lot of people get scared to run press man because the receivers can just randomly get a press win or just activate takeoff and fly by them. So a lot of people, when they run man, they're going to play backed off man, and when that's the case, that's when you just start to hit core routes on them, because essentially you're throwing the pass on the break. You're going to click onto your receiver and then hold aggressive catch. So hold Y on Xbox, triangle on PlayStation to come back to the ball and undercut it before the defender even has a chance to touch your receiver. And so that's really the advantage to leaving the core route on the field, right? And so if they're going to run zone coverage, like right here, they're going to be in zone, that if I read zone, then I might think about putting a drag, because now you just have an easy window right there to hit that pass right off the snap. You're really doing a great job of attacking zone logic, right? And the reason why you're doing that is because you have this flat route. The flat route's going to push the flat zone outside and then just leave this cushion right here for you to hit your drag underneath. And so essentially, the reason why I call this an everything beater is because I have them in random defense right now, and we have an option against every single coverage that they're running. So right here, I'm going to step up in the pocket, and you're going to rarely take sacks. Honestly, I think I just could have hit my drag again backside. And so you're really just reading the play as it's kind of developing, right? So you can, you can always just be patient, right? And just hit that. Like, that's really easy. And then when you get in the open field, as we talked about, that's when you unlock kind of the speed boost potential, because now you can turn those, 5-yard checkdowns into 25-yard gains. But you're just going to see it again, step up in the pocket. You also want to be hunting the deep ball, though, right? So that time quarterback overthrows it. But if it's like second and short, right, third and short, you want to be looking to push the ball down the field and unlock a big play, right? Because this is a very methodical offense. You have people open at all costs, and so it's really just like sometimes you just want to take your chances down the field and look for those passes right there. Good defense by them. So it's like you're never really going to take sacks with this play, which is really going to, open up your completion percentage. Now, if you see man coverage again, specifically if they have like inside leverage on your tight end, so like if they align here, then that's when you could probably just leave your corner out, right? So you could just probably just leave this corner out and try to pass that ball outside, and so you're able to see how, if he could catch the ball, we had that throw. So it's really, you have a lot of options with this play. So the universal setup would probably just be something like this, right? Take the snap, read their coverage. You're just going to see how they're going to be in man coverage. We're going to try to roll out and maybe hit that throw right there on the sideline, and we're able to do just that. So it's really just about reading the play after the snap, seeing what the defense is in, what their coverage is, and how you can go through your 1, 2, 3 read progression, right? So with a play like this, it would probably just be, first read would be the running back, then the post route, then the curl. If they're running man, first the curl, then the post, then the in route. So it's really just going through what coverage you think they're in, but you have a play that's going to absolutely annihilate every single defense in the game. All right, so again, before I jump into that final red zone money play that you're absolutely not going to miss out on, it's going to unlock this whole scheme and make scoring touchdowns effortless. Make sure you go down below and subscribe. Again, I'm the only one right now breaking down college football 26 tips and tricks every single day for you guys, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But let's jump right into that final play, which again is going to be an easy play to make scoring touchdowns in the red zone easy. Let me show you what I mean. Which, funny enough, it's RPO duo alert post, because essentially what we're trying to do now is just call the same, this is the same duo run, but now there's a pass aspect built onto it. So it's a lot of the same principles that we talked about earlier in the video, where you're just going to be able to speed boost right out of the handoff, but now you have a backside post that's honestly really hard to stop. So really, obviously, as we know, the red zone is anything inside the 20-yard line. And so really this is maybe, you don't want to necessarily call this inside the 10-yard line. This is more of a play to get closer to the end zone, but you're really just making the read, because you see how that post, it's really like a slant route. It really does a great job of getting far enough up the field to create leverage and get open, but it doesn't run too deep to where it just gets covered very easily. So again, you're really just making the read, right? So I'll hop in the instant replay here and we can kind of show off what I'm actually looking at. But if someone's standing in that kind of area right here, so this is kind of what this is the read that you're trying to make of when you hand it off versus when you throw it, right? If this man is already standing in this spot, the throwing window, if there's already a guy standing there pre-play, I'm probably going to look to just hand the ball off, but I'm still going to read it after the snap. So after the snap, I just see him drop right into the lane that I'm trying to throw to, so I just end up handing the ball off. If he's not there, which some formations he's not going to be there, or if he crashes down, then we look to throw the post. So again, he's standing there, but he could crash down. So again, right here, nope, he's just going to drop into the spot. And so that's when I'm just going to be looking to hand the ball off to my running back. Now, understand that the run blocking for this play is not as good as the duo actual run play. That just makes sense because some of these guys are looking to block for the pass and not necessarily solely focus on the run. So you're kind of taking the trade-off there, but it's still a very dangerous play. Now, on this example, again, they're in random defense, so there's no one standing really in that throwing window. So I'm just going to take a snap, and it's open, right? That defender, I guess he was kind of there, but he's not there enough to make it an interception. It's still open enough for me to throw. He just got to catch that ball right here. Probably just going to look to hand the ball off again. Yes, he doesn't get off the press in time, so you just have to hand the ball off there. It'll automatically take it. But still make sure you're speed boosting. If you hand the ball off, still make sure right trigger, left stick, left trigger, right? combining all three of those and working on the timing, because if you do hand the ball off, you need to speed boost immediately out of that handoff, just like we talked about from duo. But right here, well, that pass gets batted down, unfortunately. But right here, we're going to hand the ball off again. We just see that that guy doesn't get off the press. Also, understanding that you want to be able to control your speed boost a little bit better than I did right there. Again, this will be another time where you would just be looking to throw that post. That time I possession catch it, because I know that's going to be a tight window to throw. But bottom line with this play, super, super dangerous, because they might think that it's just another duo play call. They might overcommit to the run, and that's when you could just hit that post right behind their head. Really time and time again, force them to actually make adjustments, user it, and it'll just open up your entire offense inside the 20-yard line. Alright, so if you enjoyed any of those 5 plays I broke down here from the Oregon State offense, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. You're not going to miss out on any of the tips and tricks, offensive ebooks that I have for you for the rest of the year. So what are you thinking? Go down below, hit that subscribe button. But if you want my full Oregon State offensive ebook with full write-ups, money plays, video breakdowns, everything you're going to need to dominate an offense, make sure you go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. I can't wait to help you out on offense even more than I did in this video. So I'll see you over there. Peace.